When world building in Minecraft, the game does a lot of the heavy work for you by generating structures around the world and dotting them around the landscape. If you can thoroughly incorporate these structures into your world's lore, it will only make it easier and serve you well when you're world building. Some common structures you may want to include in your world building are likely structures you've already mapped one or two of in your world. This includes villages you might have already explored. And villages are a great way to name a few known sites in your world and a place you can always reliably come back to. These villages might have simple names. For example, one of my villages is Cliffside and the other is Moose Bay. These are both named after geographic spots so that I know when I'm going to those villages exactly what I can expect to see there. And this is important if you want to access specific resources. Maybe you have specific villages where you know that they're close to specific wood types or specific access to other resources you might want. And you may also want to use villages as a natural resistance to pillager patrols if those bother you as much as they bother me. And another common structure across your Minecraft world that you're probably familiar with is, well, ruined portals. If you're insistent enough, you can use these portals to create actual nether links. You don't have to build any of your own portals from scratch. You can just use these partially constructed portals, well, I guess partially deconstructed portals, to keep yourself, well, a little more resource savvy, and you can incorporate them into the history of your world. Or maybe you just want to leave them in a ruined state so that that history is, more so in the past than the present. But whatever you want to do with those structures, and actually speaking of ruined structures, Minecraft's got a lot of those. Whether it's ocean ruins, whether it's zombie villages, whether it's shipwrecks, or maybe even trail ruins that I know maybe are a little less than popular, those sites give the world age and presence that extends beyond your player. Ocean ruins, for example, you may want to consider that maybe they're the ruins of Atlantis, if you wanted to do that. And maybe those shipwrecks, well, there was some sort of naval battle that went horribly wrong. Or maybe there was some sort of treasure fleet that also maybe went horribly wrong. Whatever you think happened in your Minecraft world, you can use these structures to give agency to everything that you build and really everything that you've set up around the world. It's really good placemaking, these random ruined structures, because really what you want to do with them is up to you. They're ruined. You don't know what happened to them, and that means that it's all up to you what happened to them. And maybe those zombie villages are villages that couldn't withstand zombie attacks, or maybe they were villages that were ransacked by pillagers, and zombie villagers, which happen to spawn all across the world, well, kind of looks like home to them, and it's not like there's any villagers living there now. So I guess whatever you want to do with these places, it's really the chance for you to broaden the scope of your world beyond just your actions. And maybe even beyond that, you can also choose to restore these to their former glory, augmenting with your own unique flair. Maybe you want to restore that ocean ruin and turn it into a real ocean structure. And I'm not talking about ocean monuments, which are already pretty nice and that you don't have to do that much with, other than maybe drain them out. Ocean ruins are kind of dotted around the world, and they do kind of seem like they're, well, houses in some capacity. So you might want to consider that. But you can also restore those zombie villages and turn them into functioning villages again, which is also a good idea because if you heal up all those villagers, they'll definitely be giving you good deals. So might be a village that you might want to definitely come back to. And maybe those shipwrecks might not be the easiest to fix up. I know for some people in their Minecraft worlds, shipwrecks generate in very interesting locations, and that means potentially you might be able to repair a shipwreck and make it a shipworthy vessel again, a seaworthy vessel again. But maybe that's a little bit impossible. And for a lot of the shipwrecks in my world that generate normally, That is impossible. They really can't be fixed. But that's okay. You can use those shipwrecks and build your own ships if you want to, using them as a reference. So that realistically, even if there are a lot of shipwrecks around the world, well, you still got your own ship. And, well, there's some other exotic structures across the Minecraft world that you might also want to consider when you're, well, incorporating structures to help you world build. And some of these structures include maybe strongholds. I think the stronghold is probably one of the most interesting structures in Minecraft because it's maybe one of the I'm not going to say the oldest because I can't say that for certain, but it's, let's say, one of the oldest structures in Minecraft. I think that's pretty fair. And realistically, that means that it's something you might want to do something with because you're probably going to visit it at some point. Whether or not you go to fight the Ender Dragon, I do think the Stronghold's worth looting anyway because it's got good loot. And it's also a structure you might want to incorporate. For a lot of my Strongholds, what I've chosen to do is actually connect the spiral staircase all the way up to the, well, I suppose the ground, but I guess it would be more like the ceiling for the stronghold. But the idea there being that the stronghold is generally, when it generates anyway, not the most easily accessible structure. So if you make it more accessible, then it's more reason for you to revisit it and maybe do more with it than just, well, let it sit. And one of the things that I like to do with my stronghold was make it kind of like a meeting place or a place where you can prep yourself for the upcoming dragon fight. And that means setting up a bunch of flags for my various kingdoms so that there's a meeting hall, and also making sure that there's plenty of beds scattered across the stronghold. And I've also cleaned up a couple of the rooms because, let's be honest, strongholds don't always generate the most pretty, so you might want to close up a couple rooms or otherwise light up everything that you can. But also remember that your stronghold might also have a couple of libraries that you might want to do something with, because those libraries are full of books, and that might give you some more tools for world building, because where did those books come from? Something worth considering, but strongholds are just one of those exotic structures. A jungle temple is another one you might want to consider. And in the past, we've discussed potentially incorporating faith into your Minecraft world because villagers have clerics and temples, so it kind of makes sense. And jungle temples are literally something that makes sense in that regard because, well, they are kind of rare, and when you do find them, they're honestly pretty interesting. And I always do like to kind of think of the idea of potentially, redstone, at least when you look at the jungle temple anyway, it kind of seems like, well, a little bit of magic, if that makes sense to you. Sometimes, I think this is one of the quotes that really sticks out to me, is that any sufficiently advanced technology is basically indistinguishable from magic. And let's be real here, some of the things you can do with redstone are just magic, period. So jungle temples are a good way to make use of redstone that's already in the world, and I think there's a lot of other structures that do that too, but you might want to incorporate jungle temples into your world. And maybe expanding a little bit on the faith idea, you might want to use desert pyramids because they have great loot, and that's awesome for you, but they also can serve as a testament to your power if you transform and fix them. And maybe in your Minecraft world, the faith revolves around you. I mean, you are the most powerful player after all, so that would make sense. And these pyramids you can already transform. And after you loot them, there's probably not much purpose they serve to you anyway, so why not transform them into something a little more spectacular? And kind of expanding on ocean monuments, I do believe that Prismarine is connected to Minecraft Legends, which, if you are interested in that game, does have a bit of lore and world building, into it, and I think Minecraft Dungeons does as well. So if you're looking to incorporate maybe some more of those Minecraft side games into your Minecraft world, you can choose to do that. And Prismarine, I think, is already one of those important blocks that you're probably going to have to collect a lot of. And, well, there's a lot of ocean monuments, so probably not going to be the biggest deal. And ancient cities are probably one of the most interesting parts of your Minecraft world because they're kind of hard to find. And if you're looking to make them easily accessible to yourself, it might take some work, but that's another project for you to do. And all of these structures are more projects for you to do if you're truthfully looking for more stuff to do in your Minecraft world. Sometimes it can feel like it's a real challenge to find new interesting stuff to do. So remember that there's a lot of structures that you can make use of, whether you're remaking them, whether you're just including them in your world building, whatever you want to do. Minecraft gives you a lot of pre-generated structures to make that possible. And if you are incorporating those structures, there's a good chance that your Minecraft world will just feel a little bit more like it has agency to it, like it exists beyond just your player. And that's nice when you're coming back to your Minecraft world because it feels like it's just a little bit more alive.